Hey guys, tonight we are stepping into a life you've probably never imagined wanting, but by the end, you just might. You're the superintendent of a Roman apartment block, what they call an insula. It's cracked, smoky, full of voices, and somehow still standing. The year could be 120 CE, maybe 160. The rent's late either way. Your building leans slightly to one side. The plaster smells faintly of mold and olive oil, and your alarm clock is a pigeon that never learned volume control. You probably won't survive this job. Few do. But for now, your heart beats steady and Rome yawns awake beneath your window.
So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, post your location and local time down in the comments. I love seeing where you're all listening from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The first sound isn't the pigeons, actually. It's the groan of the wooden beams shifting as the insula settles, like an old man cracking his spine. You pull your cloak tighter, thin wool, scratchy but familiar, and rub the sleep grit from your eyes. And a faint sweetness from the bakery downstairs. Flour dust dances in the shafts of morning light sneaking through the cracks in the shutters. You hear the baker already at it, pounding dough with the rhythm of someone who hasn't been paid in 2 weeks, but still hopes Jupiter's listening. You stretch, bones protesting, and shuffle to your tiny window. Below, the alley is still half-shadowed, cobbles glistening from last night's drizzle. 2 doves fight over a crumb on a broken tile. Someone down the street coughs, a long, phlegmy sound, and then spits. Welcome to Rome. You live on the 3rd floor, which in modern terms means the don't bother running if there's a fire floor. Most insulae were tall, 6, 7 stories, but yours leans modestly at 5, built from brick and prayers. Emperor Augustus once passed laws trying to limit their height because they kept collapsing. Historians still argue whether that was out of concern for safety or just to preserve his view of the skyline. The morning begins the same way it always does. You grab your bucket, the one with the dent on its side from when you dropped it off the roof last summer, and head downstairs. The stairwell is narrow, spiraling around a central shaft that smells faintly of smoke and old fish. You nod to the old widow on the 2nd floor. She's already sweeping dust from her doorway into the hallway. She'll do that again in 2 hours, because dust in Rome is like the gods, everywhere uninvited and impossible to remove. Outside, the street is stirring. Vendors wheel their carts past, iron-rimmed wheels clattering against stone. A donkey snorts, shaking its head as if disapproving of everything. You inhale deeply, the scent of wet clay, charred olive oil, and the faint metallic tang of the Tiber in the distance. It's beautiful in a grimy, chaotic sort of way. You start your first task, checking the roof cistern. Most water comes from the aqueduct, but it is stored in rooftop tanks for the tenants. The pressure's unreliable, and more than once a lazy mason has borrowed part of the lead pipe for scrap. Historians still argue whether Roman plumbers caused more poisoning than they prevented. But you've drunk enough of that water to stop caring. You just hope the pipes haven't burst again. Climbing the stairs to the roof, you pass a small shrine, a clay figurine of Vesta goddess of the hearth, surrounded by dried laurel leaves. Someone's left her a crust of bread and a coin. You nod politely. It doesn't hurt to keep the household spirits happy. You've seen what happens when they're ignored. Shutters rattle, rats multiply, and once the roof tiles slid off like they'd been greased by Mercury himself. The roof greets you with the city's full morning hum. Pigeons flutter up in protest as you appear, muttering curses in Latin you've invented yourself. The view stretches wide, Rome waking up in slow waves. Smoke curls from bathhouses, the clatter of carts from the forum echoes faintly, and temple bells tinkle somewhere toward the Capitoline Hill. The air smells faintly of soot and lavender oil, a strange but oddly comforting mix. You check the cistern, half full, a bit green around the edges, but serviceable. You dip a finger in and taste. Still water, mostly. You'll pretend the little things wriggling aren't there. With a sigh, you grab the ragged broom and start sweeping the roof tiles. Dust, feathers, bits of straw, all sent tumbling into the street below, where they'll probably join the rest of the city's grime. Below, a child shouts your name, Tullius, that's you, and waves from the window. His mother yells at him to stop leaning out so far. You grin and wave back. That boy once tried to sell you a rare coin that was just a dented button, but you admired his spirit. The sun climbs higher, casting long shadows through the courtyard. You can feel the warmth already pressing against your back, the roof tiles absorbing it greedily. You think about the rest of your day, the tenants who will want repairs, the landlord who will pretend not to have money, the endless grind of holding this fragile hive together. But for now, there's a quiet moment, a rare pocket of peace. You sit on the low parapet, letting your legs dangle over the edge. The city stretches before you like a living mural, painted in ochre and smoke. You can almost forget the cracks in the walls, the unpaid rent, the way the foundations groan when the wind shifts. Almost. Then a soft thud behind you. One of the pigeons has landed, tilting its head in judgment. You sigh. You again, you murmur. It coos, unimpressed. You toss it a crumb from your pocket. The bird snatches it and hops closer. You almost smile. Somewhere far off, a trumpet sounds, the signal for the market gates opening. Another day begins, and with it, another set of problems. You stand, stretch your aching shoulders, and start back down the stairwell. The air grows warmer, thicker, alive with the scents of a city both eternal and perpetually decaying. You think about breakfast, barley porridge maybe, if there's any left, and smile to yourself. You could do worse than being the caretaker of a crumbling piece of eternity.